Hi everyone, I am Dr. G. Welcome back to Face It with Dr. G. So excited to be here. I have to say I was having a little bit of a mental mind just blank about what to talk about. There are so many topics that would be useful for you guys, but now having Patreon and this, I want to make it interesting and unique. And so if you guys have ideas, send them over, DM me on Instagram, comment on YouTube. I want this to be useful and easy to listen to. And I know there's not very many podcasts to listen to that are based on aesthetics in the field. But I thought today would be nice to talk about the conference that I just took my team to, the Medical Spa Show. And the Medical Spa Show happens every year. It's usually March or April. It's one of the biggest in the aesthetic field. And they focus a lot on legalities of med spas. They partner with the business side and the strategic side when it comes to aesthetics, like lawyers and consultants and resources that can help you grow and scale and do things in a financially prudent way, and also protect yourself when it comes to the laws, because we just really don't know. When we start, there's a lot to learn, and there's even more to learn now than there was when I started almost 7 years ago with GFace MD. So I brought the team there. It was 4 of us, and it was super, super fun. We had a great time, but bringing a team to a conference is complex. And it's complex in ways that I didn't realize. And I wanted to tell you guys, if you're business owners, this may be a good one for you, because I want to tell you how I have thought about the ways to bring them to conferences, how to do it in a fair way, and what to offer team members. Some practices will offer team members CME credit, allowances essentially. So they get a certain amount of money each year and they can spend that money on whatever they want to spend it on. That's a way to do it. That'd probably be easier than the way we do it. But we have considered that as well. Then the way that we've decided to do it is I choose 2 conferences that I think are beneficial to every level of provider. So this is purely for providers. And then ideally also there's an administrative or non-clinical track, because I like to bring my non-clinical people as well, because there's a lot for them to learn too, and to socialize and all that. So I choose 2 conferences that I think are beneficial for all levels. And if the whole team can't go to one of those, I split the team up. So I have some non-clinical and some clinical providers that can attend those conferences, one of those. Usually one's in the spring and one's in the fall. And those are completely paid for by the company. So we cover flight, hotel, and conference pass. Anything above and beyond that, any other private trainings or small group trainings are not included, but we're open to a discussion if we want to, if somebody wants to consider those, such as maybe a cadaver lab or something like that. So the way we do it is, instead of essentially my goal, and I think many people's goals, it should be a goal, is that education is not only expected and required, but it's really appreciated. And people invest hundreds of thousands of dollars into themselves, when they're business owners or not, to get the education they need that will then pay back in spades. It's essentially priceless, but you have to understand the worth of it and appreciate it. So we have the providers agree to have a little bit of money taken out of their paycheck for 3 cycles, I think it is, I can't remember exactly, but a certain number of cycles before the conference. And we hold on to that. And we hold on to that for a certain amount of time after the conference, because we want to make sure that you're not going to come to a conference and then just decide to separate, go in a different way or whatever. So we are providing this opportunity to them for education for themselves and for the company. So that's how we do it. And then once they're here for a certain amount of time after the conference, they get reimbursed that money. So that's how it works, and it's worked out really well. We think that in general, again, to have a little bit of the skin in the game for everybody allows not only for a better experience for everyone, it's appreciated, and things that are free just aren't appreciated. So if you guys have ideas, that's how we've decided to structure it. And before we go, we have developed with Skytail Group. They're awesome. We work with them. They provided an example of a conference playbook that I used and edited a little bit, but it's a playbook for the team members. So I have it pulled up here so I can tell you exactly what's on it. So you have the team members that are part of it at the top, so we all know who's going. We have flight information. We also have any speeches or talks that any of the team members are giving or panels. We have that listed, so everybody knows where the team members will be speaking, and they can go and watch those events and those speaking engagements. We have any dinners, and it's organized by day. So this is great. You can organize it however you want, but it helps your team and you become aligned with what the goals are, what they want to get out of it. At the end of it, they can write what they want to get out of it, what their specific focus is, and other lectures that they want to attend. And it really helped. I hadn't done that before, and it really helped not only with me knowing that the team is going to get something out of it, but for discussion points, and we could split up in different ways so that we knew if there were overlapping lectures, we could cover all the bases. So it was really, really great. The team came back. They loved it. So many notes, so many discussions, and they made so many connections that were really useful and allowed them to appreciate the scope of this field, the scope of the number of treatments and the way people do things, the business side of it. And it's really overwhelming to see so many people in one space that do things very differently. So I loved it for them. Also, I think not only is there a huge team bonding aspect to us being together and having a great time and doing dinners with friends and colleagues, putting names to faces, faces to names that they haven't met before, but it's also a place and space for newer injectors and seasoned injectors to not only learn new information, but confirm what they know. And I think that's a huge deal, especially as a leader and a business owner. When they hear me speak day in and day out, it becomes routine, but having that confirmed and reaffirmed by other injectors and other professionals is awesome, because that's when concepts start to click and light bulbs start to go off. So I could see light bulbs in their mind and their eyes lighting up like, oh, I like that, or I like that idea, and just bouncing ideas off. It's how things solidify in our neurons and our brain cells, and all the synapses were firing, and it was really, really exciting. So then when we get back, we have a meeting to debrief and we talk about everything and just start, bouncing ideas around. What do we want to bring into this practice? What do we not want to? Ultimately, to, facilitate learning, encourage growth, and encourage change in our field. We love that. So I hope that was helpful. We are always evolving and changing, but I had a really hard time coming up with a specific way to bring injectors to conferences that was fair. And I wanted to share that with you guys because I struggled with it, and I wish someone was able to tell me this beforehand, because when there's no guidelines, I get overwhelmed with the amount of possibilities, the number of possibilities and ways we could do this, knowing there's multiple right ways to do things, but I want it to be fair. And I also want it to be something that I don't have to change all the time, even though I know that is kind of in the process. We will eventually change it, but something that's fair and people are happy to go. So thank you so much for listening. Short and sweet. I'll get on here again next week, and I can't wait to see you guys.